Hi guys, welcome to the Growth Club. This is a video for the Pro Members section, okay? This is something we're going to work on. I've done a video previously talking about the year of the prophet. So we need to focus on little things next year. How can we increase our profit by being more efficient, lean, and just thinking a little bit smarter? And to be honest with you, be more organized. What I'm going to show you in a minute is something that we've done quite a few times in some of the courses. So obviously we're running a course, we're asking lots of questions. We're very interactive. If you've not done training with us before, you'll get just what we do here. Obviously we're doing a course maybe on spraying kitchens, etc. And then at lunchtime we get chatting, and I speak to decorators on a daily, weekly basis. And this is one thing that we used to do. Don't get me wrong, everything here that I talk about is something that we've been guilty of, something that we've thought about a little bit more, made a few changes, and those changes have given us the edge. Okay, I'm going to talk through it a little bit more, and the reason being is we're now realizing that these videos here, although we're doing the visuals on a whiteboard, if you're listening to this on a podcast, I will try my best to try and explain what I'm doing. What I would also say is if you are listening on the podcast, you need to come over and actually watch the video because it might make a little bit more sense. This is just something we're going to delve into in the Pro Club members. And we're going to be thinking of how we could build a structure to be more efficient, therefore reduce our costs and increase our profits. So like I say, if you haven't already watched the video for the year of the prophet, I know it sounds pretty cool, you might want to go back and look at that. So right, let's do this. I'm going to step up to the whiteboard. So what I'm going to do is just explain, and like I said, we've done this quite a few times with, obviously, you'll have to excuse the shorts, it's Saturday, I'm just in the office kind of doing a lot of this stuff. So what it is, let's assume that you live here. So I'm just drawing a little dot on the whiteboard, and then ask yourselves, in fact, I'm asking you guys to put comments in the box. How far would you travel for a project? Would you travel, I don't know, let's draw a circle around this one of 30 minutes. Okay. Let's draw a slightly bigger circle around this one that says 45. And then let's just go full max and draw a bigger circle that says we would travel for a job that we wanted to do that had a nice price tag, and it was a job that we wanted to do, we would travel 60 minutes. That's an hour. Okay, fine. So now the next question I want to ask you guys is, I'm going to ask you, where do you buy your paint at the moment? So is that going to be, let's say, a DDC, maybe a Crown Decorators Centre, Johnson's, Kent Blaxall, Rabarts, LDM, whichever the paint merchant it is that you go to, okay? I want to know how far from your house that is, okay? So in this scenario, we're going to pick a number of, let's just do something simple, 15 minutes, and that's pretty cool. So we're drawing a straight line, okay, through our home and through the big circles. And we're going to go halfway into the 30-minute zone. So in other words, we're prepared to travel to a job 30 minutes. And what we've done is we've added the paint shop, okay? The paint shop at this scenario is 15 minutes from home. That's pretty cool. Most of the time it's a little bit further, but we've been very conservative with this. So now what we're going to do is say that the job at the moment is, it's a nice job, and I'm going now full scale. I'm going to this job here, which is 60 minutes away, okay? But it doesn't matter because I've drawn a line and it's a direct line to the job. And the paint shop is in a direct line. So technically, when I leave home, I'm going to the paint shop and then I'm going to the job. And it's fine because it's in a direct line. So now the question is, okay, who is it you deal with at the paint shop? Bob, Steve, Dan, Terry, whoever it is. And all of you will put a name in there, Terry. And you'll write down in the comments on this video or in the podcast, if that's the case. If you're doing the podcast, come back and watch the video because it'd be you just see more comments as well, to be fair. So it's a win-win. So what we're going to do is add the name of who you're dealing with at the moment within the paint shop. So in this case, we'll say, I don't know, Dan. Okay, I'm just picking a name. All right, I don't think I've ever known a Dan in a paint shop, to be fair. But he's a top fella. All right, he's always looking out for you, and he's really good. Next question is, does the paint shop have a coffee machine? Yeah, pretty much. So now it's got a paint shop. Now it's got the coffee machine. You've gone in, you've made a coffee. It's early in the morning. You're on the way to work. It's fine. So we've gone in. We know that this distance between your home and the paint shop is 15 minutes. We're going to pick another number. We're going to say that you're in the paint shop for 15 minutes, picking up stuff. It's mixing paint. So mixing the paint, everything else. You're buying a few more bits, probably bits that you don't necessarily need, but they're on offer, and that's pretty cool. And you've had a coffee. So we're going to now add another 15 minutes to that. Okay, so what we've done is 15 minutes, and we've added 15 minutes there, and then we're into that. So that's now technically, if we're honest, 1 hour 15 minutes. Well, that's not the end of the world, is it? It's not. You've got a good rapport. The guy is starting to give you good discounts at the moment because obviously you spend a lot of money. You've got some big projects coming in. All of that is great, okay? And that's what we've all done. I've done that for years. I used to deal with LDM was probably one of my main paint suppliers for many, many years. But I started to get a little bit smarter because what I realised is when we were working in Dulwich, okay, that was fine because actually it was kind of on the route. We would go through Norwood, we would stop at the paint shop, I'd pick up what I need, and I'd be on to Dulwich. That was a good outcome until we started working in the opposite direction. So let's assume that you've now got another job and it's still within your radius, but this time for us, it's the opposite direction. It's not a problem because it's still 60 minutes from home. But now what we're doing is that's the first job. Okay. The first job, we were 1 hour, 15 minutes to get to work. Okay. Now the second job, we're 15 minutes to the paint shop. Okay. That's 15 plus another 15 minutes back to home, plus another 15 minutes inside the shop. In total, 45 minutes. Now that second job, yes, is 1 hour, 45. Now let's think about how organized are you? If you're anything like we used to be, not very organized. So what's going to happen is we're going to get up in the morning, we're going to go to the paint shop, we're going to spend 45 minutes. We're going to be buying stuff that we need, but we'll also be buying stuff we don't need. And then we're going to drive to the job. An hour and 45 minutes to get to work now. That's just crazy. It doesn't matter if you're 30 minutes, 45 minutes. The principle is still the same. And I don't want to piss Dan off because I'm building a relationship with Dan. I want to spend money with Dan, okay? Because I know that I'm going to be able to get better prices, which again increases profit, the bottom line, and that's the key. But what if we could just do something different? What if, and I am an advocate of building relations with these, because if you buy everything online, yes, you might get it at different prices, but you'll never be able to build that ongoing relationship where you can actually negotiate and get that extra level of service. Because don't forget, our business is not always about price, it is also about the service, and that's from our suppliers as well. So we want to build relations with these, but why not just pick up the phone? Okay, why not just get organized? And the reason I'm saying that is how many times a day, how many times a week are we going to the paint shop? Once? Well, that it'd be good if we were, but the reality is let's say 2, maybe 3 times. Well, now let's do that. 1, 2, 3. So that's now 45 times 3 is 1.5. Well, I'm just going to do it 2 because it's easier. That's 1.5 hours a week that you're just driving around. Okay. And don't forget that 30 minutes is plus fuel. Ouch, especially at the moment. Plus bits that you're going to buy because you're in store, bits on offer. okay, which you don't always particularly need, and they're going to be sat in the van for longer than, let's say, the duration of that project. Okay, so here we have a scenario of every time we drive to the shop, we're going to be losing money. We're going to be eating into any profit that that job was making. So what we've got to do now is find different ways. Okay, how can we increase our profits? Okay, suggestions. No. You don't go buying online. You do for some stuff, obviously. But what you do is you have a different type of relationship with them. You know, maybe you only pop in there every 2 weeks, maybe once a month for, you know, whatever reason. Dan wouldn't mind a phone call. You know, you could phone the shop. You could probably have his mobile. You got him on speed dial. You could do one or two things. You could phone up in the morning and say, Dan, could you do us a favor? Could you mix me up X amount? Could I have X amount of primer? I need maybe a couple of roller sleeves, rags, whatever it is, sundries, tape, etc. Is there any chance of getting that out on a delivery today to the site? Well, if you look at the first one, chances are to Dulwich for us, the answer would have been yes. Why? Because it's within his catchment and it's in his direction. Perfect, not a problem. But when we were working in the other direction, he was like, no, sorry, we don't go that far. It's kind of out of our radius for dropping stuff off. Okay, Dan, could you drop it at my house? Yeah, that I don't mind. If anything, I'd rather, because that's now only 15 minutes from the shop and not 45. So actually doing that, but the point is, what we're doing here, the first part of the Growth Club is getting organized. And we're going to try and help you get organized, making sure that you plan for the week, the month, the next 3-4 projects, so that what you do is not only you've got your cash flow better, but you're also now speaking to Dan to make sure that you get all your products that you need for all those projects in one delivery, which he's happy because he's not coming back every other day. He's doing it. So again, we could get a little bit smarter, and we are going to touch on how can we squeeze our suppliers on other videos coming. How can we negotiate better prices moving forward? And we've got loads of ways that we've done it over the time. This is it. All right. This for me is probably a very clear, simple way of increasing profit by being more efficient, being more organized, so that when you order the paint, Dan, within his service that he's charging you for anyway, he's doing the work. You're using his fuel, not yours. You're using his time, not yours. Guys, if you're still driving to the shop at the start of 2023, that's going to start to hurt. Yet, if you change things and you get a little bit more organized, you get involved, obviously listening to what we're talking about and the way that we preach, whose money's going to be going up? Yours. Whose profit's going up? Yours. Who's getting the better deals? You are. Who's being more organized? You are. Do you see what I mean? It's a win-win. He's happy because he's still getting the business. If anything, he's happier because what he's doing is he's only got to do one delivery. He's got one order and it gets sorted. Guys, how far to the paint shop? Think about it. You know, do you really need to go in and see that? Do you need, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, it might be one of your best mates. Maybe you go out drinking with him at the weekend. Maybe you and the missus and his missus go out on a, you know, on holidays together. I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I've never done it that way. I've always got on with the suppliers in the paint shop, but not that much. You know, we're there to do business. And as long as Dan is getting your business, he will do the extra bit that you're doing at the moment. So instead of you paying for the privilege of spending money with these companies, get them to work on your behalf. Trust me, they prefer it. They'd rather you be more organized, bigger orders, single delivery. Thank you very much. It's a win-win, guys. It really, really is. Stop driving to the paint shop every other day. Still build that relationship, still keep those guys on board, but don't be driving to a paint shop like every other bloody competitor that is in your area. Okay, you don't need to be doing what they're doing. You need to be making more profit. If this makes sense, which I hope it does, this is just an idea of what we're doing. We're going to be working of how can we make this even better? How can we start to save money to make more profit. So guys, leave me some comments, leave me some feedback. If you think I'm talking crap, hey, that's cool, but give me a reason for it. All right. I want to be challenged. I want questions as much as anything else. Guys, get involved, get busy. All right. I'll see you on the next one.